everyone. This is Kari from the Mount Airy Branch Library of Carroll County Public Library. I'm coming to you today from my home. As you can see, I have my musical director with me here again today, Margot. Hi. So she is going to help out with sound throughout our book talk today. So today's Teen Central is going to be I'll be talking about 5 books for you that are in that YA category. So last time we talked about some younger tween and teen books. I'm going to start today with kind of a younger one and then go up to some true young adult books that we have in the young adult category for Carroll County Public Library. So you have some good reading recommendations. All of the books that we're going to talk about today, you can access through our library website. So even though the library is closed right now, you can't get the physical book, you can go to our website to get an ebook or an audiobook version of it. You just go to www.library.carr.org. And then under our collections, you'll see a tab for digital and ebook collections. We have Libby, which is the app for Overdrive, and you can use either Overdrive or Libby, and Hoopla is on there as well. So there are lots of great books on those platforms besides the ones I'm talking about today. But I wanted to point out some really good reads if you're looking for something to read right now while you're at home. The first one I'm going to show you is from the Riordan Presents imprint. This is a new imprint, just came out in the last couple of years. Riordan, you may be familiar with his Percy Jackson series books, Magnus Chase. He has tons of books that are based off of Greek and Roman mythology. He has started this imprint to promote other authors and other types of mythology and other stories. So this is just one of the series in that Riordan Presents imprints. So this one is Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky. It's book 1. It has gotten a Coretta Scott King Award honor. The book is written by Kwame Mbali, and it's just a fantastic, fast-paced, action-packed adventure story. I do think that we have this in Carroll County in the J section, the kids mid-grade section, but really it can go up to older ages as well, just like the other Rick Riordan books. It's a little bit shorter than maybe some of the Percy Jackson books, but it does go, it's almost 500 pages. So it's a good, nice, hefty book if you're looking for something to really sink your teeth into. We do have it on Hoopla. We have it in ebook form on Hoopla, and we have it on Libby in ebook and audiobook form. So if you prefer to listen to it, that's a great option as well. So as you can see, the main character, Tristan Strong, here is on the front of the book. This is American legend, John Henry backing him up. This is a scene in the book where they're fighting iron monsters. You can see John Henry's hammer there. And Tristan is just a normal kid. He is a boxer. He has a great family life, and he's just a normal American kid. A lot of the mythology that comes into play in this book is from West Africa. It's mythology that has come over to America from West Africa through the slave trade. And it's just a fantastic adventure book. I'll read the inside cover to you shortly. So we have 7th grader Tristan Strong feels anything but strong ever since he failed to save his best friend when they were in a bus accident together. All he has left of Eddie is the journal his friend wrote stories in. Tristan is dreading the month he's going to spend on his grandparents' farm in Alabama, where he's being sent to heal from the tragedy. On his first night there, a sticky creature shows up in his bedroom and steals Eddie's journal. Tristan chases it. Was that a doll? Through the forest, and a tug of war ensues by his grandmother's mysterious and off-limits bottle tree. In a last attempt to wrestle the journal out of the creature's hands, Tristan punches the tree, accidentally ripping a hole in the sky above Mid-Pass, a volatile place with a burning sea, haunted bone ships, and iron monsters that are hunting the inhabitants of this strange world. Tristan finds himself in the middle of a battle that has left Black American gods John Henry and Brer Rabbit exhausted. In order to get back home, Tristan and these new allies will need to entice the god Anansi, the weaver, to come out of hiding and seal the hole in the sky. But bartering with the trickster and Nancy always comes at a price. Can Tristan save the world before he loses more of the things he loves? So this is just a fantastically fun fantasy book. Like I said, with some of those West African mythology. You may have heard of Anansi when you were younger, with some folk tales. Just amazing. I would say for 10 and up, it does get a little scary with some of the monsters that they're battling, but just a really, really great, fun read. And there'll be more in this series later on. This is just the first book. So the next book I am going to show you, again, could be in that tween category, but definitely teen. And it is called Village of Scoundrels. It's by Margie Price. She is a fantastic writer. She's written several other books that you can check out. This one is brand new, and it is a World War II historical novel. It's historical fiction, but it's based on true events and true people. So it takes place in a village in France where there's a group of adults and teenagers and some children who are actually working to protect Jewish refugees. Excuse me. So this just came out in February. It's a fantastic book. I'll read you the inside cover here. This one, again, we do have on Hoopla as an ebook, so you can check it out there. The publisher says that it's like for ages 10 to 14. I would again say probably ages 10 and up. It's not super long. The author does have a really good portion here at the back, an epilogue here, where she actually shows you some of the primary sources that she's done so much research to research this book, pictures of the actual people and places in the village in France during the Nazi occupation. Just really fantastic. And the epilogue's really wonderful as well. So I'll read you the inside cover of Village of Scoundrels. Forging documents, smuggling people over the border, carrying coded messages for the French resistance, the teenagers of Les Lots find ways to help the refugees in their midst. For the first years of World War II, the remoteness of their village offers them a certain amount of protection, and the townspeople take on the task of sheltering Jewish children rescued from French concentration camps. But the Nazi occupiers infiltrate every corner of France. The news tightens, and the operation becomes increasingly dangerous. First, a policeman is sent to spy on their doings, uncover the village scoundrels, the teenagers, pastors, and others who have been aiding the visitors. And when the Gestapo arrives with a list of names, the young people must race against time to get their new friends to safety. Based on a true story, Village of Scoundrels tells how ordinary people opposed the Nazi occupation and stood up for what was right, in spite of intensifying peril. So Margie Price is an excellent, excellent storyteller, and she does a fantastic job in this. This would be a great read alike. The last time I told you about the book Echo, this would be another historical fiction having to do with World War II. That would just be fantastic. Yeah, it's just really, really, she has a historical timeline at the back. So if you're into that time period or historical fiction, even nonfiction, it's a great read, and she has all of that great nonfiction information at the back of the book. So I highly recommend that one. The next one that I have is The Poet X. So this is by Elizabeth Acevedo. This book is a couple of years old. You see it's gotten tons and tons of awards here. So Elizabeth Acevedo, she's a spoken word poet. So this was her debut book, the first book that she's published. She also has With the Fire on High, which we're going to have on our summer reading list this summer. And Clap When You Land just came out. All of her novels are written in verse. It is a true YA book. I would say 12 and up, 14 and up, I think is what the publisher lists. We have it on Libby as an audiobook and an ebook, as well as Hoopla as an audiobook and an ebook. Elizabeth does read the audiobook version, and it's gotten awards just for the audiobook. She is so dynamic of a poet. So it's really wonderful when you have a chance to hear her read the story. So I would highly recommend the audio, and you can look up videos of her reading her poetry as well. But this is a realistic fiction book about, the character's name is Xiomara Batista. So I'll read you the inside cover here. Xiomara feels unheard and unable to hide in her Harlem neighborhood. Ever since her body grew into curves, she has learned to let her fist and her fierceness do the talking. But Xiomara has plenty she wants to say, and she pours her frustration onto the pages of a leathery notebook, reciting the words to herself like prayers, especially after she catches feelings for a boy in her bio class. With Mommy's determination to force her daughter to obey the laws of the church, Xiomara understands that her thoughts are best kept to herself. When she is invited to join her school's slam poetry club, she knows that she could never get around Mommy's rules to attend, much less speak her words out loud. But still, she can't stop thinking about performing her poems, because in spite of a world that may not want to hear her, Xiomara refuses to be silent. So this is just a really, really dynamic, moving, coming-of-age story. Like I said, it's realistic fiction, and it's all written in verse, which is fantastic. You know, one of my favorite, besides Elizabeth Acevedo, one of my favorite authors that writes in verse is Jacqueline Woodson. So Kwame Alexander does the same thing. So if you like books in verse, if you just want a kind of a quicker read that you want to look at, definitely check out The Poet X and her newer books as well that we have. Like I said, we have the audio and ebook versions available on both Libby and Hoopla of The Poet X. So the next one, this one again has came out a couple of years ago by Tomi Adeyemi. Is Children of Blood and Bone. So this is the first in a series. I believe it's going to be a trilogy. The second one is already out, Children of Virtue and Vengeance. This is book 1 of Legacy of Orisha. So again, this is like a true YA book, I would say. I think it's, the publisher might have said 14 and up. So 12 and up, 14 and up. There is some violence in it. There is some romance in it. It's not super graphic on either account, but there is a lot going on with the plot there. And it's a bigger, thicker book. It leaves you on a cliffhanger since it is book 1. But Tomi is just a fantastic, amazing writer. And it's one of those stories. It's so adventurous. It just really gets better and better the more that you read it. So I'll read the inside here for you. It is told from the 3 perspectives of these 3 main characters in it, which is a really interesting way to read as well. So Zeli Adbola remembers when the soil of Orisha hummed with magic. Burners ignited flames, tiders beckoned waves, and Zeli's reaper mother summoned forth souls. But everything changed once magic disappeared. Under the orders of a ruthless king, the Magi were targeted and killed, leaving Zeli without a mother and her people without hope. Now Zeli has one chance to bring back magic and strike against the monarchy. With the help of a rogue princess, Zeli must outwit and outrun the crown prince, who is hell-bent on eradicating magic for good. Danger lurks in Orisha, where snow leopards prowl and vengeful spirits wait in the waters. Yet the greatest threat may be Zeli herself as she struggles to control her powers and her growing feelings for an enemy. So that is book 1, Children of Bone and Blood. If you haven't read it yet, again, it's like a really great true YA to really sink your teeth into. It's longer. There were a couple of the books I showed you today that have these maps. It is a true fantasy book. There's a lot of world building. Like I said, it's told from the point of view of 3 different characters. So some people really love a lot of world building with fantasy books like that. and a lot of character development where it goes back and forth. Some people are not as into that style, so this one is good for people who really like all of that world building and fantasy. So the last book I'm going to show you, I actually don't have a physical copy of it. It just came out earlier this month, I believe. But I wanted to let you know that we do have it on Hoopla because it's so fantastic. Again, it's a true YA book. It is Superman Smashes the Klan by Gene Luen Yang. He's an amazing, he's done a lot of graphic novels. He's written and drawn. This one he has just done the writing for, and the Japanese artist Gurihiro has done the illustrations. Both Gene and Gurihiro have done comics with Marvel and DC Comics for a long time. So Superman Smashes the Klan came out as a DC Comics in 3 different issues. It has been combined into kind of like a graphic novel format with all 3 issues, and we have those 3 issues on Hoopla. It's going to be a terrible view, but I'm going to quickly move this just to show you on my computer what it looks like, the cover. And it was actually based on the old Superman radio series in the 1940s and 50s. Actually had this storyline because there was a rise in KKK gatherings and terrorist assaults by the KKK. And so they did a radio show with Superman kind of battling the KKK. And it had a real cultural impact. So I'll briefly read to you just the publisher information on it. But I encourage you, because we have it on Hoopla, definitely check it out. And it's that comic book style. It's a DC comic, the 3-part series, like I said, with those 3 issues. But it's just fantastic. And also, if you didn't see, we posted on our Mount Airy website, maybe last week or the week before, there was the Everywhere Book Festival, which had interviews with all sorts of YA authors on it. And Gene Luen Yang did the keynote opening speech to that. And he talks about this book and his other new book, Dragon Hoops, which is a fantastic book as well to check out. But he has this video, and they have it, if you go to their website, Everywhere Book Fest, you can still pull up all of those author talks, and his talk is on there where he talks about this new book as well as Dragon Hoops. So I'll just quickly read to you from the publisher information here. The year is 1946, and the Lee family has moved from Chinatown to downtown Metropolis. While Dr. Lee is eager to begin his new position at the Metropolis Health Department, his 2 kids, Roberta and Tommy, are more excited about being closer to the famous superhero, Superman. Tommy adjusts quickly to the fast pace of their new neighborhood, befriending Jimmy Olsen and joining the baseball team, while his younger sister, Roberta, feels out of place because she fails to fit in with the neighborhood kids. She's awkward, quiet, and self-conscious of how she looks different from the kids around her, so she sticks to watching people instead of talking to them. While the Lees try to adjust to their new lives, an evil is stirring in Metropolis, the Ku Klux Klan. The Klan targets the Lee family, beginning a string of terrorist attacks. They kidnap Tommy, attack the Daily Planet, and even threaten the local YMCA. But with the help of Roberta's keen skills of observation, Superman is able to fight the Klan's terror, while exposing those in power who support them. And Roberta and Superman learn to embrace their own unique features that set them apart. Multi-award-winning and New York Times best-selling author Gene Luen Yang and artist Gurihiro tell a bold news story based on a classic Superman radio serial. So even though I don't have the copy to show you here, we do have it on Hoopla to check out. I highly, highly recommend it. So if you have any questions ever, go ahead and post them in the comments. I can try to find a read-alike for you if you've already read some of these and loved them or didn't like them and you want a different book. Definitely let me know about it, and we'll try to put some of those recommendations either directly sent out to you or in our next Teen Central as well. So everyone, be well. Here again is our musical director for Teen Central. I'm glad that you joined me today. And definitely check out our website. Do you remember what our website is, Margot?
It is
www.library.car.org. And those books can be found on Libby and Hoopla for you to check out. And we look forward to seeing you again the next Teen Central. Bye!